Hello, everybody. It's been one day since the official release of Paleo Pines, and I wanted to share some of the things that I learned after a few hours of playing the game. So, you do get character customization. Look at the drip. Look at the drip. You got tops, you got bottoms, you got your shoes. You can style your hair however you want. They understand that some people are extremely with the fashion, so you got a whole bunch of options here. And the best part about the whole thing, though, is that you don't have to worry about making this decision and it being locked in place forever. Later on, you can change your outfits. There's an NPC that helps you style later on, so we'll go over that later. So this is Pebble Plaza, and you're gonna be running through here every day, all day. You can talk to every NPC that you see. This is Corlin, the Savage. Once you get acquainted with his sassy dialogue, you'll know why I called him a savage. You can buy goods for your dinos from him, and he will often have random items to decorate your ranch on certain days with. Also, sometimes the produce and the decor he carries changes, so you can't get them all the time, so just be mindful of that. Try not to be a broke boy like me. I'll pray for you, because the shell economy is something else. When you become a crop god, maybe it'll be better. Y'all remember that NPC I was talking about that can help you change clothes and restyle your character? This is she. Homegirl Orani has got you covered. She's not in town often. I wonder if she's out here designing for models in Europe or something, but anyway, if you're trying to slay, go her way. Pippin. Okay, for me personally, her store is a little inflated. She sells something essential for befriending dinos called Poppins, and she sells them for 100 shells each. That's my personal shell hell. But she gotta make a profit. She cool, I guess. Marlowe is that guy. If you need to do anything with building or creating furniture on your ranch, extending your pens, go to Marlowe. And next is Agami. Granny Agami, she sells seeds. I haven't personally had to buy any yet from her, but she's always there. The main thing to note with these NPCs is that once it hits about halfway through the day and the sunset starts to come through, they disappear like the Avatar, and then you gotta wait till the next day. And that doesn't even guarantee they'll be there, because sometimes they're just not there. And you gotta go to sleep and try again and wake up the next day, and they still might not be there. So just take note of that. Except Corlin. Corlin is always there, right, Corlin? This is your town board. This is where you'll be able to get quests and get paid in cool items and shells. So naturally, stack your bread. Because if I find out that you left a quest on this board, don't talk to me. Unless yours is clean empty like this, okay? This right here, this flute, these bubbles. Yeah, this is the best mechanic in the game. The coolest, the most fun part of the game by far, besides the dinosaurs.
Bruh.
So the flute can play notes, and the notes come in 12 types. There's 4 colored notes: red, yellow, blue, and purple. At the bottom right of the screen you can see that. And there's 3 lengths. So depending on how long you hold playing each note, the bubble can come out 3 different sizes. So there's a super small size if you just tap it really quick. There's a middle length if you hold it just a little longer than the tap. And then if you hold it a lot longer than both of those, there's a really big bubble. That's just the beginning. Now we are in the land of the dinos. And when you're trying to befriend a dino, you have to have a Poppin, and it has to be their favorite flavor of Poppin. Consider it like buying them their preferred birthday cake on their birthday. To get the dinosaur to be friends with you, half the battle is just testing out what foods are in your inventory and playing Russian Roulette Pet Edition. So essentially, the process of gaining the trust of a dino is by communicating with it with the flute, and you have to press 3 times the red bubble, and then once you have started that, you gotta soothe it or feed it and eventually give it a poppin'. The dino will emote with a question mark above its head, and if you're getting its attention successfully, then you will enter like a friends song mode, and in friend song mode the dino will begin singing notes at you, and you have to repeat the notes identical to what it's singing. And if you play the correct notes, it'll step closer to you. And then after that, a meter will show up on the bottom right of the screen, indicating the trust level of the dino. And by feeding it or soothing it, you'll either fling the needle left or right until it reaches the dark green section. And at that point, you can give the dino a poppin', and then if it likes the poppin' and it trusts you, then you'll be prompted to pet your new friend and seal the deal. I already had a Gallimimus before, so I knew exactly which poppin' to give it, but I hadn't seen this color pattern yet, and this is called Portal, so I was like, oh, I have to befriend this one. And so I let my Twitch chat name it. Apparently GLaDOS is somebody from the Portals game, but yeah, that's what I named it and took it home. When you bring your newfound friend home and take them into the pen, you do have to tell them that that's their new home. So all you have to do is sing the song, "This is your home" on the flute, and it's 3 blue bubbles, and then your new dino pal will know that that's where they live now. What if you wanted to know the name and type of a dino, but you weren't ready to befriend it yet? You can record it in your journal. After you've done the whole interaction with the flute, you just put it to sleep, soothe it a little bit, and then walk up closely and then journal entry, and it'll tell you the name of the dino and the color and the rarity. And what we're going to talk about next is the color combinations and rarities that each dinosaur can have. So there's the common rarity, which includes coffee and orchid. There's the uncommon, which includes periwinkle, grass, and tangerine. Then rare, which has peach and ocean. And ultra rare, which albino, melanistic, pearl, proud lotus, and Saturday. I personally have not gotten any of the melanistic or the albino, but I want them. If either of you guys, any of you, have a melanistic or an albino, I'm jealous. Melanistic is my favorite ultra rarity. I hope to get one of those on almost all of the ones that I get. Let's talk about the helper mechanic. So every dinosaur has a starting trust value and a happy threshold and a helper threshold. A dinosaur with a happiness value of 0 or above gains the happy status. Meeting or surpassing a dino's helper threshold will change them from a friend to a helper. And once they become a helper, they can help you with whatever ability they have on the ranch, whether it be, watering crops or, being able to break boulders, etc. And I didn't realize it from day one, but you should try and use Lucky's stamina up every day, especially while Lucky is your only dinosaur, because when you use their abilities over and over and destroy debris, for Lucky's case, you can have a chance for them to level up, and then their stamina increases after that. So that allows you to use their abilities longer the next time, the next day, and getting more use on your ranch or wherever you're using them. And in order for one of your new dinosaurs that you added to the ranch to become a helper, it's got to consistently be happy. And it has a happy meter. And so your happy meter has to be full or almost full for multiple days. So dinosaurs can become helpers after like 2 days. Sometimes it takes 5. It generally is just up to luck from what I've seen. But I would advise trying to get the happy gauge to be full rather than just close to full. And a dino emoting with a shower of flowers or hearts implies a happiness increase, while a dino emoting with a dark swirl over the head implies a happiness decrease. And the ways you can raise the happy meter all the way up is, petting them, playing their friend song, giving them a pen to live in, making sure the size of their pen is the appropriate size, and providing company to the pen that they would require, if they living in a herd or in a pack, and upgrading their pen to their preferred biotype. Feeding them also matters. Feeding them whatever their favorite treat is and their favorite poppin' is. And if you just visit their biome a lot and pet them a lot. I'm gonna teach you guys the secret sauce. So what I do is I do a little mini sequence where I take them outside of the ranch, because they like exploring with you, and if you have them follow you and you pet them outside of the ranch, it goes up a little bit. Then, I bring them back in, then I feed them something, if they like carrots, I feed them the carrot, then I pet them, then I feed them the poppin', then I play their song. And you could see the meter just go up each time that you do a sequence of stuff like this. And you go to bed the next day, and hopefully you hope that they become a helper overnight. So the dinos can be very picky about how and where they live. You'll end up learning that the carnivores and the herbivores don't like sharing the same plate. The carnivore is fine with it, but the herbivore might feel shy and end up not eating, which then if they don't eat, then they're sad and they're not happy, and their happy meter will go down. So some of them like to live with other dinos, and if you put multiple dinos in the same pen, then you'll learn that they'll complain that they want their biome to change. So just like notice those kind of things, because they have their own preferences, and if a dino's pen space is too small, then they're gonna throw a dino tantrum and burst out of the pen and just run around and be like, well, if it's not the size I want, I ain't living there. And they literally do this. They like just fling outside the gate and just run around your ranch. It's kind of funny. And basically, when you're trying to set up the pens and everything like that, you can check the valley and forest dino pen needs on paleo.gg if you wanted to. Otherwise, when they're upset, if you hold the journal up to them, it should tell you what they want. They usually say, I want this kind of biome. Some prefer the valley biome, some prefer the forest biome. You just gotta match their taste, just like you have to match the taste of treats. Their environment needs are kind of essential, or else they'll be upset. So every dinosaur also needs a dreamstone to be able to sleep in the pen, and for the tiny dinos, they need a tiny dreamstone. And you can find all the dreamstones out in the wild outside the ranch. The max amount of dreamstones you can have in your ranch, though, is roughly around like 48 or so. I remember a mod saying, just in case you were trying to house more dinos in your ranch than that. But yeah, my Gallimimus was like, our pen is too small, so I had to build them a bigger pen so that they would be happier. And you could see it right on the screen where that happens, on the top right corner. And then I check back, and now they're happy. We're talking about crops today. See, that's why I don't really buy seeds from Agami. She sells seeds, but I don't need them because they be blowing on the ranch all the time. So I just pick them up often, and I sell so many of my crops, and I still have a lot of them. So crops, like I said earlier, are going to be one of your main sources of stacking your bread. So that's what brings you a lot of bank. And the higher the stars on your crops when you try to sell them, the more shells you'll make. So look at a planted crop to see how it's doing. The journal shows you the name of the crop, whether the crop needs weeding, and whether it's been watered that day. Weeds slow down the growth of your crop and can cause it to fail. So if you're planting something for the first time, whip out the journal and copy it in there so that it has the info on your growing items. Soil can also have 4 types, okay? There's normal, soft, sticky, and firm. And in your journal, you can check on an unplanted patch of soil to see if the soil's type is, and then newly tilled soil always starts as normal. So if you put the favorite soil type for each crop shown in the journal, then when you use fertilizer on the crop, it improves the quality of the crop, and that's how you get the higher stars. And it also changes the soil type to the type of the fertilizer. So using fertilizer that matches your crop's preferred soil type is like the best thing you can do. And you can only use fertilizer on seeds or plants that have just sprouted. Oh yeah, I forgot. If your inventory is ever full and you want a free space, but you don't want to have to go back to your ranch just to free the space, you can just drop the item and it'll turn into either a sack or a brown box like that, and you can come back to it at any time and it'll still be there. Especially if you're trying to buy something from an NPC in town and you don't have the space and you don't want to go all the way back. Forgot to mention that. So Mari is talking about this thing that happens in Paleo Pines called the Triaceae Picnic. And so that everybody in the town does something where they gather a whole bunch of food produce, crops, everything they can find, put it in a pile, and then they celebrate. And the next day, rare dinos are supposed to spawn. But you know what I did? I literally just didn't go back there because I was confused. So don't be like me. Don't just start your next day, because you know what? You'll miss out on the rare dinos. And I noticed only after 3 in-game days that I had already messed up. So also, apparently later on, if you become close enough with the people that sell you things, they cut you a discount. Right now, Pippin gives me a 5-cent discount. So nice of her. Eventually, it's supposedly rumored that it can get to 50% off. I don't know if that's true or not, but wow. Look at that sunset. Screenshot. During my first in-game week, I didn't think about how I should be journaling more, so I missed fruits on bushes and trees and things on the ground to take note of in the journal. And yeah, so moral of the story is, when in doubt, just pull out the journal. And even if you're not in doubt, pull out the journal. You probably could use it in some way. I also want to say a big thank you to Paleo Pines and Team Modus Games for the early access key to this wonderful game. Um, Let me know in the comments what dino color pattern is your favorite, and if you're a person that likes kicking it back in the Discord, I'll leave mine down in the description. I'd love to have you. The Chocolate Kingdom, we love desserts, and I stream on Twitch, so I'm gonna also put that in the link. But I appreciate everybody. Thanks for watching, and I'll see y'all next time.